Hello friends, welcome to Technograde Automation Lab. Today I'm going to cover an important topic of Selenium, that is weights. Okay, so we are going to understand that what is weight, what are the different types of weights available in Selenium jars and how we can implement them, right? So before going to the Selenium part, let's just understand that what is weight. Okay, simple. So now guys, you have also feel that whenever you are launching any application, you are accessing any web applications, it is taking some time to page the particular load or the links or the elements you are dealing with, right? That is the normal behavior of any application that can be happen because of your network connectivity, because of the server connectivity, or because of the application itself has taking some time to load. There are so many factors on this, right? Now, if I'm launching any application, see, suppose I'm launching a simple gmail.com. Okay, it is taking time to load. I'm clicking on this sign in button. I'm putting any ID. Okay, let's just I put this ID, click on next button. Now you have observed that when I clicked on this next button, it took some time and after that this page displayed, right? Then means what is happening here, the particular page or elements are taking time to load. Why this happens? Because the application's backend, means these applications backends are in JavaScripts, in Ajax. So whenever you are clicking somewhere, whenever you are performing any applications on the web application, the request goes to the server, and in response you got the JavaScript call or Ajax call. In response you get those kind of um, web page to be displayed on your application. So it takes some times. Sometimes it can be in seconds and it can be in microseconds, milliseconds, but there are some weights that is already available, right? Means it is taking some time to load the element. So the element can be clickable, the presence of element, but it is taking some time. Okay, that is the normal behavior of any application. Now if I'll come to the Selenium part. Okay, if that is the application's behavior, the same kind of situation you have to handle in Selenium scripts. Why? Because whenever you write a Selenium code, your script starts executing line by line. Okay, suppose you have written a Selenium code like write email on this ID, click on next button, and you immediately write the password on this. Right, but you haven't applied this milliseconds, this wait, the page time to load this page, right? So what is happening here, your script will fail because you haven't applied or you haven't tell your Selenium script that before entering the password on this page, wait for some milliseconds. Okay, you haven't tell your Selenium scripts yet. That's why your scripts will fail. That's why it is very very important to deal with waits whenever you are writing the Selenium codes based on the application's behavior on whatever you are trying to automate. Okay, based on that application you have to apply weights in Selenium scripts as well. Now we'll come to the Selenium part, that what Selenium has provides us. Selenium provided three kinds of weight: implicit weight, explicit weight, and fluent weight. Each weights its own features and disadvantages. Fine, so today I'm going to cover all these three types of weights and how to use them. First, I'll start with the implicit weight. What implicit weight does? Implicit wait basically instructs the WebDriver to wait for a certain time period before throwing an exception, right? We are telling our Selenium script that boss wait for some time before perform the next action, right? How we are going to see that? I'll go to my Eclipse. Okay, so this, suppose we are launching the www.gmail.com. Now for this, what will I do? Simple. First of all, we'll identify the locators of this element. What is my requirement here? I want to put some ID in this section, want to click on this particular next button, and after that I want to put the password and click on the next button again. Okay, that is my requirement. So for that we'll inspect the locators first. I'll right click, inspect. I'll go to this email option. What it is saying, this is the input field where type is email, right? The same I'll use in my Selenium script. Driver dot find element by dot xpath We learned XPath in last session. Right. What I'm going to write? I'm going to write the input at the rate. This is my attribute. What is the attribute value? The attribute value is email. Fine. So if you want to cross check whether you have identified the correct XPath or not, you can just enter control find and you can write your XPath over here and it will identify one of one, right? It is identifying the exact element that we wanted. Fine, that we can use. After that, what we want? See, this is my email button. This is the web. This is going to return web element, right? I'm going to store in web element. Fine. After that, what I want? I want the locator of next button. Right? Simple. Now we are going to identify the locator of next. Where is the next? This next. What is this? This is the span element where the text is next. What we can do in this case, we don't have any attribute over here available over here. We can directly write this is span. Fine. We'll write contains text. What is the text value? Text value is next. It is identifying the element. Fine. One on one. We'll use this in our Selenium script. Okay. So we have identified the email. Next button. After that, what will be our next element? The next element will be, suppose this is my dummy email ID. Okay. After clicking on next button, my next requirement is I want to enter password here. Okay, what is the locator we are getting? We have type, we have class, and we have name over here. Okay, we have already used type, so now let's use name here. By this, you can do the practice of your XPaths as well, as we are using the different XPaths over here. What is my name? I am writing name is equal to, what is the name attribute? The value of name attribute is password. Okay. It is identifying the element. Fine. I'll take this and I'll write into my Selenium script. Again, I'll write what name I say. I'll say this is the password field. Fine. And this is my locator. Fine. Now, what is the next element I wanted? I want to click on this next button. Now, I'll again go and click on this next button. It is giving me the same locator. Okay, so don't use the same one. What I'll do, I'll use this ID. Okay, this is the ID. Control copy. Instead of name, I'm using ID. Guys, I'm using the different XPaths over here. I can use type, I can use the old one as well, but for the better understanding, I'm using the different. Okay, and what is this? This is div. The tag name is div, not span. Now it is identifying. Fine. Okay, so now again, this is my next button. One, or you can say this is my first next button. This is my second next button. Control copy, and this would be the web element of next button. Now what actions we want to perform? We want to perform in this email locator. What we want to perform? We want to send some keys. We want to enter the value. For that, what method is available in Selenium? That is the send keys. What value I want to enter? This. I have created one dummy ID for demo. So what I'm saying enter this particular value in this locator. Okay. After that, what I want to do in this next button one, I want to click on that. So we have method available in Selenium, that is click. Again, I want to enter the password value. I'll simple write send keys. What is the password here? This is the password. And after that, I want to click on this next button too, right? So we have used two methods here. The one is the send keys and the second one is click. Fine. Now what do you think? Our Selenium code should execute? It should launch the web browser, it should launch the Gmail, and after that it should enter this ID, click on this next button. After that it should enter the password and then click button. Okay, now let's save this and run this program and see what is happening. See, Chrome is launched, next button is clicked, but password not entered. Why? See, we got the exception here. What is the exception here? We got the exception Selenium no such element exception. Where? We got the exception this Java 25 line. Why? Because it is not able to identify this element, because it took some time to load this page, and that we haven't applied or we haven't tell our Selenium to wait. Okay, now start with the implicit wait first. Okay, so what is the syntax of implicit wait? We have one method available, that is implicitly wait. This is the syntax that we need to use. Driver.manage.timeouts.implicitly wait. We have to define the range here and the time unit dot seconds. Here we are defining the unit. Okay, it can be second, it can be microsecond, it can be millisecond, it can be hour, it can be minute, it can be anything. Okay, what we are doing here, we are telling our Selenium scripts that wait for this, and here we want to define the timeout, means how much time you want to wait. 10 seconds, 20, 30. So whatever time range you will define here, your Selenium script will wait for those particular time. If you define the 10 and here you define the minutes, it will wait for 10 minutes. Okay, now write this in Selenium. How we are going to write? Simple. Write driver. Driver is what? It is the object or the reference variable of your Chrome driver. Fine, we are dealing with driver everywhere. Driver dot find elements. So now what I am saying, driver dot manage dot timeouts dot implicitly wait. Suppose I want to give the time as 20 and time unit as seconds. Okay. So now what I am saying here, I'm saying my Selenium scripts that manage the timeout, implicitly wait, manage the timeout for 20 seconds. Okay, if I don't write the second here, see, just enter dot and you can see multiple options have over here. You can define dates, hours, microseconds, milliseconds, nanoseconds. Okay, this is up to you that what time unit you want to define. Okay, so here I have selected as seconds, not microseconds, seconds. Okay, so now what I'm saying that before loading the page, wait for this particular wait and then perform the action. Now what are the features of implicit wait? You need to understand first. Okay, before executing, I'll just write down the features. The first thing, it is the dynamic wait. What does that mean? See, I have defined the time range as 20. So what is your expectation that our execution will halt for 20 seconds? No, that won't happen. What will happen? It will try to identify the element between these 20 seconds. It will keep on checking your element on your web page till 20 seconds. Okay, if not found after 20 seconds, then exception will be thrown. And if found within 10 seconds, okay, if found within 10 or 15 seconds, then the rest of the time will be ignored by Selenium scripts. So what is happening here? You have defined the time as 20 seconds, means this is the max time that you have defined. That maximum Selenium has to wait for 20 seconds before performing any application. And this is applicable for all these 4 elements, means whatever available on the application. This is the time that we have defined for all the web elements. Okay, applicable for all web elements on web page. Okay, and what it is doing? It will keep on checking or identifying your element, and whenever it found, it performed the action. So that doesn't mean that it is going to wait for 20 seconds or wait for 30 seconds if you have defined the 30. Okay, and what we say this process, it is keep on checking your element. We say this is the polling time. Okay, means by default it is polling your element. And what is the by default polling time that is provided by Selenium? It is 500 microseconds. Okay, means within 500 microseconds it will go and check the existence of that element. Okay, so now in this page what is happening? We are entering the Gmail ID, and after that we are performing the click button. Now after that, what is our expectation? This page is not loaded. So it will keep on checking this password element within the range of 500 milliseconds. And if it found within 5 seconds, next 15 seconds will be ignored and this action will be performed. That is the implicit wait. Fine. Now let's execute this. Okay, Gmail page is launched. Clicked on next button. After that, password entered, and see, Gmail page is open. So earlier we got the exception, but as of now we don't have exception here. Our Selenium script doesn't throw exception. Our code executed perfectly fine in the way that we want it, right? So we can define the weights in Selenium with the help of implicit wait. Whenever you have the fixed wait, because what is happening here? We have applied the maximum wait time is 20 seconds for all these 4 elements, right? That is the by default, because now we are not redefining it. Whatever we are defining here, it is applicable for all the web elements. So that is the drawback as well of implicit wait, you can see, because in going or future you want to say that for this particular page I have wait for 20 seconds, that is the max timeout, but for perform some other actions, I want to define only 3 seconds as my max limit. But that is not possible, because in implicit wait you can define at one time and that will be applicable for all the elements. That is not good thing. That is the drawback. Okay. This is the feature, but actually this is the drawback of implicit wait. Now what we can do? So to overcome this drawback, the Selenium has one more wait, that is the explicit wait. What explicit wait actually does? Okay, explicit wait gives us the facility that you can define the wait on the particular elements as well itself. How? See, explicit wait has one class in Selenium, WebDriver wait. This is the class that is available in Selenium. Yes, WebDriver wait. Okay, this is the class, and you can define the object of this class. See, I have suppose in this example, wait is the object. Now, with the help of this wait, you can define the conditions, means you can define that on which particular web element you want to put a wait condition. In our case, we want to put the wait on only this password condition, right? So we can define over here itself. That doesn't mean that we will ignore these particular parts, right? We don't want that. Because of implicit wait, our execution will be slow because it is applied for all the elements. Now, based on the particular elements, your requirement, you can define explicit wait. And what explicit waits give us? Explicit wait provides a multiple methods. So suppose on the loading of the particular web application, some elements are taking time. Suppose this next button is taking time to load. Your entire application is loaded, but it is not yet loaded because maybe it is not enabled or it is not clickable. So that kind of methods we have available in explicit wait. See, what explicit wait says that wait dot until is the method, and what until method says, inside that you can define the expected conditions, and these are the conditions that is available. Like I am saying element to be clickable, and after that you have to define the locator of that element. So suppose I am defining here a name. So I am saying the name element to be clickable. Wait for the time until the name element becomes the clickable. Right? This is the best way to deal with elements. Okay, to apply waits on specific elements. Right. So Selenium provided the explicit waits, and it has so many methods like element to be clickable, element to be selected. Okay, the frame to be available, this we'll see in later. Invisibility of the element, presence of element, text to be present, visibility of all the element. Maybe your application is loaded, but the particular element is not yet visible. It is taking some time to be visible. Right, you are dealing with the online shopping website. Okay, so what you do whenever you do the online shopping, you have some requirements, and based on that you applied some filters on that application, and on the basis of the filters the different products is displayed on the application, but it takes some time. So in such conditions you can apply the wait as the visibility of all the elements. Once all the elements will be visible on the applications, then perform some actions. Right, now let's write explicit wait in our code and see how to write that. Just ignore this, just comment this out. Okay, control X and okay. So now to define or to use explicit wait, the first thing is that you have to create the object of WebDriver wait class. New WebDriver wait. Okay, and here you have to define the time unit, sorry, the driver and 10. Okay, what we did, we have defined our Selenium wait. This is the class that is available in Selenium package. You can see it, Selenium support.ui.webDriver wait. Fine. So we have defined the driver. Inside that, what I'm saying, for this driver I need to perform the wait conditions on my elements, and this is the default time that I'm setting here right now. We can change this. After that, what I want to perform on the wait condition on this element. I'll go and write wait dot until expected condition dot. Okay, expected conditions what? Oh, okay, fine. Now see, if I just enter this, see, if I just click on dot, enter only dot, we have all these methods available in Selenium, and based on your choice you can select the particular method. What I want that this password button is clickable, so I can enter some value in that. Okay, that is my requirement right now. So what I'm writing, element to be clickable. Now what it is asking, it is asking the locator, means on which particular element you want to perform this condition. So I want to perform the action, or I want to put this condition on this element, right? So what I did, I'll use simple copy this, and this is the locator where I want to put this condition. Fine. Fine. So what exactly I'm doing here? What exactly I'm telling my scripts to do? I'm saying that, boss, wait until this condition is met. What is this condition? And this condition is this particular element becomes clickable. So you need to wait until this condition becomes clickable. And till what time you need to wait? Till the 20 seconds. This is the max timeout that you want to wait. Okay, and after that exception will be thrown. Okay, and if this element will be found before that, suppose it is found within 15 seconds, and within 15 seconds this particular element becomes clickable, then the rest of the 5 seconds will be ignored. What does that mean? Means this selenium explicit wait is also a dynamic wait. Okay, this is one of the interview questions as well, guys, that whether selenium implicit and explicit waits are static or dynamic. So these are the dynamic because the execution won't halt for 20 seconds. It keeps on checking your element. Okay, for the 500 milliseconds. Sorry, I have written the microseconds. This should be milliseconds. Okay, the default polling time of selenium is 500 milliseconds. Within the range of this 500 seconds, milliseconds, it keeps checking the presence or the existence of the selenium web elements where you have applied the wait conditions. Fine. So what I did in this code, I applied the condition, the wait condition only for this particular element. Okay. So my selenium execution will be wait or will try to identify this element only for this particular element, and for rest of the elements I haven't put any wait condition, so execution won't stop or won't halt, right? Okay, now let's execute this code. So okay, application is launched. Gmail ID entered, clicked on next button, password entered and clicked on next button. Okay, login happened successfully. Fine. So guys, here I have used only element to be clickable. If you feel that you have to apply the presence of the element or element to be selectable. Okay, so based on there are so many conditions available in this selenium and you can choose any one. Okay, I have shown you the demo of one method only, but there are so many methods, and inside that you have to only define the locator. Locator means selenium script should know that on which particular element you want to apply the wait. Okay, the explicit wait is the very common wait that is used in selenium. Okay, we generally don't use this implicit wait, or this is also used but not a lot, but explicit wait used in huge in selenium. Okay, and the interview questions are like that. What is the difference between implicit and explicit waits? What is the synchronization in selenium? So synchronization means they are asking about waits only. Okay, we are doing the synchronization here, so that how well we can synchronize our application with our code. That is the synchronization only, right? So this kind of questions are generally asked in interview questions, and in most of the interviews they definitely ask you about the waits, because that is the very important part, and without applying the wait you can't execute your code. This is always going to throw an exception, because that is the default behavior of application, that it will take some time to load because of the Ajax or JavaScript or whatever. Fine. After that, the one more wait is available in Selenium, that is fluent wait. Okay, so what is the extra feature is available in fluent wait? Okay. Fluent wait tells the driver to wait for a condition and also the frequency to check the condition before throwing an error. In explicit or implicit wait, what is happening? Okay, the by default polling time is defined, and this is the frequency, okay, by which your Selenium script is going and checking that element, okay, within the range of the 500 milliseconds. But if you want to define the frequency by yourself, okay, you want to check the particular element with the 600 millisecond or with the 1 second, you don't want to check it within the range of 500 milliseconds, so that kind of options are available in fluent wait. Apart from that, there is one additional feature is available in fluent wait, that is that you can define one exception here that can be ignored. Okay, so in our case, when we haven't applied the weight, what was the exception coming? It was the coming like the no presence of element, right? The presence of element is not visible. That kind of exception was coming over there. So if you want to put a condition that ignore that exception and just continue with the execution, so that kind of condition also you can define here. You only have to tell the exception no, name over here. This is the syntax of fluent wait. Wait is equal to new fluent wait. Okay, here we are defining the object, and here we are saying the dot with timeout, the timeout rate, the timeout, the actual time you want to wait, 10, 50, 60, whatever it is, and the seconds and the unit, not seconds. It can be anything. It can be seconds, it can be minutes, it can be hour, microseconds, milliseconds. After that, you have to define the polling every. Means suppose the max timeout you are defining as 50 seconds and you want to poll, okay, within 2 seconds or within 1 second. So that you can define here in polling every 1 seconds. Okay, this can be anything microseconds based on your first choice. After that, you are saying that ignoring no such element exception. Means if this particular exception is coming, so ignore that and continue the execution. Okay, that is the fluent wait. Okay, so these are the two additional features that you get in fluent wait. Those are not available in explicit wait. So the whenever you got this kind of interview questions, that what is the difference between implicit, explicit and fluent wait, so there are some additional features, those are added in explicit and fluent wait, those are not available in implicit wait. Plus there are some one additional feature or two additional feature like this polling time and exception you can define in fluent wait, that is not available in the explicit wait. Okay, so you should be very clear on this part whenever you are giving the answers or getting such kind of questions in interview. Fine. So guys, these are the ways that I want to cover today because that is the important part. In next section, I am going to cover the select class, actions class, and some other classes like to deal with the different web elements, if that is the drop down or checkbox. So how to deal such kind of elements, because till now we are dealing with very simple elements like we are dealing with the simple text field, right, a simple button. But if there are some drop downs or some checkbox, so how to deal with that, I'm going to cover in the next section. Okay, till that time just do the practice of weights, apply different weights conditions in Selenium, explicit wait, try to different methods in explicit wait, and if you have any doubts just write us on the email ID that is given below. Okay, thank you guys, thank you so much, bye bye.